So our second recipe is a Mediterranean tempeh tray bake. And replacing meat for a plant-based protein for some of your meals is a great way to reduce food costs. It's also a great way to improve your health. So you still get the protein power from the plant proteins. And today the stars of the show are the tempeh and the chickpeas. Yeah, they're the stars of the show, and they provide protein and fiber. And according to cancer authorities, the guidelines, it's suggested that we reduce our intake of red meat to about 500 grams per week. How much is that? I mean, some of the people know because we talked about it yesterday, but if you think about the palm of your hand, or a deck of cards, that's about 100 grams. So when it comes to red meat, you want to have less than 500 grams. So that's like maybe 3 or 5 times a week. So what are you going to replace that with? Plant proteins are great to do that. So not only cost effective, but also it is improving your health by these budget-friendly choices.
Yes, awesome.
And there you go. There are the beets with the little
Yes, these are the candy cane
nice.
Beets. They're really pretty. Also some of these Japanese radishes. Again, this is just what we have to play with today, so I'm super excited. Before this Mediterranean bake, we are in the prime of summer. So this is sort of a good time to buy local for sure. Prices are usually better because we are growing it, which is fantastic.
Also, if you go to the farmer's market near the end, you might get a deal because the farmers don't want to take.
Great tip. Yes, I know St. Lawrence Market does that. End of day Saturday, I think it is.
You might have less variety, but it's still
better deals.
Good.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right, so for this, we're going to play with some colors, some flavors. You can use what you enjoy. We definitely have some beets, some of these radishes. Radish is another one, underutilized. And these are like the bigger radishes, even like the tiny red ones. They're fantastic. You can get a big bag, usually for like $3, and they're great roasted. We only think of it like raw and sliced, but they're actually really, really good roasted. So those, we have some zucchini here, some onions. Use what you like. Again, star here, I think, is the tempeh. Has anyone tried tempeh before? Okay, a couple of people. Oh, okay, more than I thought. All right. This, I believe, we have over 700 recipes on our website. And this is the first time that we've used tempeh in one of our recipes. And it has been brought up multiple times.
Yes.
I love it because as an alternative to tofu, if you're looking for like a plant-based protein, some people do get turned off by the texture of tofu.
Yes.
Tempeh is a little firmer, so it has a little bit more bite to it. Also because it is the pressed fermented soybeans, you get this more of a savory, more umami flavor coming from the tempeh. So if you're not a big fan of tofu, but you want to look for some plant-based protein options, give the tempeh a try. And then I think you mentioned like price-wise, the cost of meat is
it's definitely going to be cheaper than the cost of meat.
Yeah.
And the thing about the tempeh, tofu's great. It's great too. But it only has about 6 grams of protein per 3 ounces. Let's say we go back to that deck of cards. Whereas because this is pressed, we have about 15 grams. And also the texture, I think it becomes a better meat replacement if you're actually still wanting some kind of texture. Jeremy mentioned the umami flavor. And then there's also, it also has some fiber in it too. Manganese, phosphorus, calcium, iron. Yeah, it's another powerhouse that you can have in your arsenal, which is really your pantry. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so nice little option. We're going to cut it. Tempeh, unlike tofu, you do have to cook. So you can steam it, you can sear it. We are going to roast it in the oven. So I like to cut it like bite size. You wouldn't want to throw the entire block on there. It would not be too appetizing. So similar size to the rest of my veg. That's, I think, a good rule of thumb. And you have your little tiny pieces here. You can marinate this ahead of time if you want as well. I'm not going to be bothered with it. This is a 1-tray dish, which is great because I only have one thing to clean up afterwards. Unless you're teaching a show, then you have multiple bowls. But if you don't, then minimize the amount of cook up and pot or clean up and equipment that you need. So we're going to throw everything into a tray. I would recommend a flat tray for this. I think it roasts a little bit better. I ran out of all my flat trays today, so I'm going to show you with a deeper tray and how to line this with parchment, which can be a little tricky sometimes. So, parchment.
It's okay. I love parchment too. I've started using it all the time.
Yeah. If you try to put parchment into a deep tray, what happens? It's rigid. It just pops off, right? So we're going to take the parchment, run it under
Or you rip
water.
it, trying to make it fit.
Yeah. Run it under a bit of water, squeeze it into like a little wad, like a little paper ball, and then unravel it, and now it's like super malleable, right? So now I can line casserole dishes, baking dishes, like even like deeper saute pans, whatever I want, but it fits nice and evenly in there, protecting the pan, less cleanup afterwards. You don't have to scrub it, which is mind blowing.
Mind blowing.
In the back. All right, so we have our tray ready to go. I'm just going to start adding my ingredients. So we have our tempeh, which we're going to throw in here. Let's get some onions. These are shallots, but whatever. I'm not trying to be super fancy. Just what had in the kitchen.
Zucchini?
Yeah, yellow zucchini here. We'll throw in some of these beets. Just wash them well. You can leave the peel on. Just wash them well. If there's any like gnarly bits and bruised bits, you can cut those off. But otherwise, leave the peel on. Really nice color and texture.
So all the vegetables we're using today, they're all in season. They're also called non-starchy vegetables. And so when you look at information about cutting back on cancer risk, you see that it says non-starchy vegetables. Basically, it just means it has less starch in them. It has more water, more fiber, more nutrition. So if you're concerned about, not that I think you need to worry about sugar or in foods, but if you want something that has less of sugar in it, you would go for the non-starchy vegetables. Lots more, contains more water and fiber. Okay.
Okay, taking a lemon, just cutting it in 2 wedges. I'm just peeling it a little bit. So if the core has a lot of seeds, you can kind of take those off. But otherwise, just big chunks, big wedges, all in.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, just wash it well, otherwise all inside. Okay?
I love the candy cane beet. I think I won't touch it, but I love it.
The color is so nice.
Oh, thank you.
All
I
for
can
you.
play.
All right.
So pretty.
Whatever flavors you want, go for it. Raw garlic can go in. If you don't have raw garlic, you might have powdered garlic, the granulated garlic. That works just as well. That's what I'm going to put in. If you want any dried herbs, I have some dried oregano. But if you have fresh, this is our fancy maple syrup can full of herbs. You can throw in some fresh too. And wash it well, but otherwise any of these like woody stemmed herbs, what you can do is just hold it somewhere in the middle, and then with your other hand just run the petals off. And that way, this part you don't want, everything else can just go in.
So with your fresh herbs, I know I'm probably taking us on a tangent, but sometimes you feel like you buy a big batch of it or a big bunch,
Yes.
and then you waste it.
Yes.
So there are ways we can store it for longer, right? Keep it for longer?
For sure, yeah. So depending on the herbs, if it comes in, like the woodier ones, if it comes in a container, what you can do is take them out. And what I like to do is take a little bit of paper towel and just dampen it, and then wrap the entire herb, and then you can put it in a freezer bag, but don't close it. Just leave it open.
Okay.
And I find that you do get more time out of it that way. If you feel like I'm not going to use this within the next like couple of weeks, then what I like to do is like either chop it or throw it in a blender or food processor with some oil. So you can do it by hand, or if you have a machine to do it, let the machine do it. Throw in some oil in there, and then you can pour that mixture into like either a freezer bag and flatten it, or ice cube trays. If you remind everyone in the house that it's not ice in ice cube trays, which I forget sometimes. But then you can put it in the freezer, take them out of the ice cube trays, put them in a freezer bag, and now you have this like herb oil that will last like for months and months. And the next time you want to start like a sauce or a soup or something, so much flavor. You're going to use oil anyways. Just throw one of those cubes in, and that way you have even longer shelf life.
I laugh because I had some friends over last weekend. I thought, I should make some ice.
Oh,
So I took out my ice trays and I'm like, oh, look what I did. Maybe a few months ago. Anyway,
All right.
so I cleaned it up really well, but it was fun.
Done.
Don't forget. So that's something. Remind yourself.
Don't forget for sure. Okay, so we have our veg here with our tempeh, whatever dressing flavors you want on it. And then if you want to use a spoon, you can use a spoon. Otherwise, I would just like to get in, give everything a nice little massage. When you get to the lemons, you can give them like even a gentle little squeeze and crunch. And that way some of the juice starts to get out of there. I want the rind in there so that it kind of crisps up a little bit, and that flavor will actually change a bit of the lemon. So nice little toss. High five.
No, thank you.
And we'll flatten
I'm
it
here
out.
with my candy cane piece.
We'll flatten it out to get some really nice color and caramelization on my, not only the vegetables, but the tempeh as well. Try not to overlap too much. And that's why, even if you don't think you'll need a large pan, the biggest pan you have, that's what you should use. If you have to split it between two pans, do that. If you have a lot of overlapping of ingredients, the ones on top are going to get really nice and caramelized. The ones on the bottom are just going to kind of steam and get, they're still going to be delicious, but you're not going to get that like sort of caramelization, right? So try to spread it out as much as you can into the oven, 425 degrees for about 20-25 minutes. Okay, so a little bit higher heat, but I want to get some color and I want a nice quick roast on it. Because of the color of the candy cane beets, and if I even have golden beets or any colorful vegetables, the longer you cook it, you're going to continue to lose that color. So the quicker you cook it, the more color will be retained, the stripes and everything like that will be retained.
I want the stripes.
Yes, question.
Why should like the rack should it be like closer to the top or the middle?
If it's just one tray, go for the middle. That way you have the most even cooking. If you're doing multiple trays, you're going to have to probably, as close to the middle as possible, set it up where you can do two, but one will probably be higher. You may need to do a rotate of the trays if one is like caramelizing quicker than the other. But otherwise, if it's just one tray, the middle would be best. Yeah.
So I may have missed it. Were we adding chickpeas to this?
Oh yes, you can add chickpeas.
You can add chickpeas
Yeah,
too?
you can add chickpeas.
Okay, I think the recipe has the chickpeas in it.
Yes, you can add chickpeas too.
Then you're getting a bit more protein and fiber. Again, another excellent plant-based protein.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's a nice, canned beans, something we talk about all the time. It's a nice, easy way to get some extra protein. If you didn't want to go for the tempeh, that's a nice way to do it. Drain and rinse, add it in, easy.
Yeah.
All right, so this goes into the oven. We'll pretend time has passed. Yeah.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah,
Ooh,
roasted
pretty.
veg, tempeh,
Okay, I'm
ready to
coming.
go. And you can see the color on the candy cane beets is still there, right?
Yes.
Cooked a little bit quicker, but you're starting to get some really nice sort of caramelization on the edges, which is beautiful. But we're not done here at this point. You can be, but we have tomatoes here, and I like to put these in closer to the end.
I'm just noticing, like you spread it out, they're not overlapping or anything. That'll
Correct.
make it, okay.
Yes, yeah. Don't.
I missed that in the
Yeah.
yeah.
So tomatoes, if you want to throw in some extra herbs, we can do that. The delicate herbs like basil, like parsley, I don't want to add it at the beginning because we're going to lose a lot of that nice kind of fresh, bright summer flavor from it if we cook it for a long amount of time. Woodier herbs like thyme, rosemary, sage, that can go for a longer cooking. But the more delicate, softer herbs, we can just.
Can you smell that already?
So I'm just tearing it in. Just tear it in.
I'm sorry if we can't.
Yeah. So just tear it in just to make it easy. A little bit of olive oil.
It does smell like summer. It does.
And a little pinch. Salt, I don't need too much because I already put some on the veg. And then we'll take our spoon, give it a nice little toss, and we're gonna put it over all of the veg. Yeah, questions? Yeah.
Tomato versus cherry tomatoes versus baked tomatoes.
Ooh.
Taste, price.
Good question. So the price will vary, to be honest. What I would say is the season is going to be a major factor determining price. Right now, and we're in like the early part of the summer, you're going to start to see some of our local tomatoes anyways, the price go down a little bit more reasonable versus outside of the season. But between like cherry tomatoes and some of like your greenhouse tomatoes will probably be the cheapest. Your plum tomatoes versus like, let's say, heirloom tomatoes, like that's going to be like a big difference. But your cherry tomatoes, sort of, it depends. Like I find some to be really expensive, like the vine on cherry tomatoes are so expensive. But then I saw some like local cherry tomatoes on sale for like $2.50 for like a nice little pint of them. So it sort of varies, but season will definitely be the determining factor.
And so you can kind of go with whatever you find at the grocery store. So you don't have to feel stuck that you have to go and find this specific tomato.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. All right, so tomatoes with those like nice summer herbs on top, that will go back into the oven for another like 5 to 7 minutes. Okay.
And there's another one.
You can just finish it like that, but I like putting those tomatoes in just to get them sort of nice and blistered a little bit, and a little bit of that sort of sauce and the juice and that tomato water starts to come out and starts to like flavor all of the rest of your veg. Super colorful, right? And
Paparazzi route.
paparazzi route, I love it. Again, those flavors from the herbs, from the tomato, from the other veg are really going to help to carry the tempeh through. So a nice like plant-based protein option.
Excellent, yeah.
But sort of in the...
And easy to make too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, one tray.
Colorful.
Good to go. That is our Mediterranean tempeh treatment.